And my chicken samosas are, they've actually cooled down. I had to cool them down. They're really, really hot. So I'm just going to try one out now. Hot, but really nice. A lot of texture there. The small bubbles that are formed, they really do give it that pockets of air and pockets of crunch. Hi everybody and welcome back to Jaffa Cooks, and today I'm going to show you how to make a crowd pleaser of a samosa, a chicken samosa. Yep, you heard me right. One of the best samosas that you can probably try out. I've got some chicken mince, just some onions, general spices, and you'll see the list in the description below. I'm going to cook off the onions just to saute them and then introduce the spices and then the mince, and then I'll show you how to introduce the rest of the spices at what stage. Okay, before we start, if you haven't already subscribed to my channel, please do so. Click on the bell icon, get the latest updates, check out my other recipes. Do share with your family and friends, and if you try them out and they turn out well, give me a thumbs up. All right, let's get down to cooking. Okay, welcome back everyone. So I'm just going to pour a teaspoon and a half, 2 teaspoons of olive oil. Okay, I'm going to pop my onions in there first. Now, what I do want to mention is that when you're cooking, especially a samosa or something that's going to include some whole spices. What I do tend to do is count how many I'm putting in. The last thing you want to do is create the samosa and somebody bites into it and then you get a big chunk of cardamom or a cinnamon stick. So do count some of the herbs the spices that you're putting in, just so that when you need to take it out before we start packing or filling the samosas, you know you've taken all the main whole spices out. Okay, in go the main spices, and I'm just going to saute the onions off. So what we're doing is basically just sauteing the onion enough so it releases the aroma. We can taste the onion, but it's not crunchy, but it holds its form. Right, I'm going to pour my mince in. And what we want to do is just make sure that all this is broken down into smaller pieces. You don't want it clunking up. Okay, so I've broken down my mince. So you can see there's no water, it's dry, and there's no clunky bits. And this is where you would introduce the remaining spices. If you have clunky bits, do break them right down. Otherwise you'll end up with samosas with tasteless pieces, or parts of them will be tasteless because the clunks won't take in any of the spices. So introduce all the spices, the remaining spices, and then let's cook this off for another couple of minutes. So that's basically it. You can see that every piece of chicken that we've broken down has taken on the spice, and that's what it's all about. A little bit of effort, a little bit of love goes a long way, and each one of those pieces of chicken taking on that spice, every bite, that's what's going to make that this is a nice chicken samosa. All right, let's get back to the serving area and I'll show you how to then start making your samosas. Welcome back everybody. So my pastry sheets are ready, my mixture's cooled down, and I'll show you how to now take one of these pastry sheets and fill it with the filling. So take your pastry sheet and lay it over your palm of your hand, and very lightly just take some water and across the width of the pastry just lightly water it. And what we want to do is then fold any of the corners, either left corner or the right corner, down the middle. Okay, and then take the other corner and watch the bottom. We want to seal the bottom without a hole in the bottom. So just very carefully place it over the other edge. This basically allows us to form a triangle, And I just want to take the base and pinch a small hole, not too tight, just so that it's closed. Now, what I'm going to do now is basically open up the middle of my samosa. And before I fill it, I want to take the edge that I've sealed and position it in the middle. I'm doing this quite slowly actually, just to make sure that you guys are following with me. So when I'm filling the samosa, the piece that I've sealed should be in the middle. Okay? Now, very simply, I'm just going to take my casing and I'm going to fill it. But before I fill it, we don't fill the samosa till the end. What we want to do is just with my little pinky, I'm going to hold on to it, which will stop any mixture from going right the way to the bottom. And I'm going to take a spoon of mixture and I'm just going to place it there. Now, what we want to do is have enough filling in there, so the middle part of the samosa's got the filling, but we have a gap in the bottom, and I'll show you what to do on the top. So very lightly I'm going to seal the top, put some water, and I'm just going to pinch it, which allows me to then seal my samosa with the sealing part in the middle. Now this will stop the samosa from splitting. If it was on the edge, then it would split as I would be frying it. So this should stop, or this will stop actually, the samosa from splitting. And all we have to do now is position it standing up. Now, whatever you do, don't position one samosa on top of the other. If you do that, when you're trying to take them apart and fry them, it'll pull the pastry and it will split, and then when you're frying, you'll have mixture everywhere. So try and keep them standing, even though if they touch a little bit, that's fine, but just don't press one on top of the other. Just keep them freestanding, okay? Now, I'm going to do the rest of these. Follow my recipe and tell me how it comes, all right? And I'll see you back shortly after, once I've done these, and we'll fry them off and I'll show you what the end product looks like. Welcome back, everybody, and I'm just about to fry off my chicken samosas. Again, just trying to make sure that everything is sealed nicely. Now, when you pop the samosa, don't forget that we're going to face the seam downwards. So I'm just going to pop them in oil very carefully. Oops. So again, you have to be very careful. Seam downwards, but if they do fall over the wrong way, it's not a problem. You can always turn them over. But do try and keep them seam down. Let's start turning them over. There's a nice golden color there. And those bubbles will actually form that crunchy texture when you're biting into it. Now, remember when we did the base, we kept the base hollow, which is right at the edge when we pinched it, and that will also give it crispy as well, crispy texture. Okay, right, looks like my samosas are done. I'm just going to quickly give them a once over, just make sure that that needs maybe another 30 seconds. Now be very careful when cooking with oil, please, it's very hot. And I know I'm using my hands. If you're not comfortable using your hands, try and use a utensil that you're comfortable with to lower the samosas into the oil. But I'm sure if you've gone this far, then you've been cooking and frying before. So I'm confident that you'll be able to manage. Okay, and I'll see you back at the serving area. Hi everybody, and welcome back. And my chicken samosas they've actually cooled down. I had to cool them down. They're really, really hot. So I'm just going to try one out now. It's really crispy on the outside. I'm just going to take some chutney as well. You can try tomato ketchup if you want, tamarind, yogurt, anything. It all goes. Hot, but really nice. A lot of texture there. And small bubbles that are formed, they really do give it that pockets of air and pockets of crunch. DM me at the bottom. Keep following, keep sharing. Have a great weekend. I'll speak to you soon. Bye.